How's it going, college football fans? Well, I've been reading here lately that Alabama AD Greg Byram, along with a lot of other SEC ADs, is wanting to get rid of the SEC championship game. And I, for one, think it's stupid and I don't agree with it. You know, I started watching college football ever since I was 8 years old, and that was 1991. And of course, next season, 92, Alabama won the first championship that I saw, which was their 12th national title. But in 92, the first SEC championship game was also played. So about ever since I've been watching college football, there's always been a conference championship game, at least for the SEC. And that's, to me, that's college football. It's like, college, of course, ain't nowhere near what it used to be. To me, that's taking away college football. Of course, it's more like, what the hell am I looking for? It's more like semi-pros for the NFL now. But speaking of reading about them wanting to do away with the SEC championship fans, I ain't believing all these so-called SEC fans that agree with it, talking about it's not relevant. It's the SEC championship game is irrelevant. No, what's irrelevant is 12-team playoffs. Come on, really? I'm going to go ahead and tell you, there ain't too many times, if at all, you're going to see anybody ranked below 6 win the national championship. The other 6 spaces is just a waste of space. Hell, Alabama shouldn't have been in the playoffs last year. The only thing Alabama accomplished by being in the playoffs last year is beating Oklahoma for the first time since 2018. Then they go to get their asses handed to them by Indiana to the tune of 38 to 3. That's why I say Alabama shouldn't have been in the playoffs. And I hate to say that, being a Bama fan, but they shouldn't have. They had no business in the playoffs. That's why I say only thing relevant is having a 12-team playoff. Hell, jump from 4 teams to 12 teams, really? Hell, you could have went from 4 teams to 6 teams and tried that out first and see how that worked. I can understand a lot of it is to help the committee get teams in, to help the committee decide who they want to put in. Because I know towards the end of the season, like last couple of seasons, you usually have a lot of 1-loss teams, a lot of 0-losses teams, a lot of teams with no losses, a lot of undefeated teams and 1-loss teams. Then they had to make a decision on who gets in. Then you're going to have fans complaining about it. So I understand why they expanded the playoffs. But hell, man, be reasonable. Take it to 6 teams. To me, conference championships always been part of college football as far as I'm concerned. And it just won't be the same without it. That's why I wouldn't believe the fans on social media agreeing with it. Talking about, oh, it's irrelevant. We can get our players hurt. No, what's irrelevant is 12-team playoffs. And I could care less what Greg Byram thinks. I believe that's Alabama's AD's name. Because to tell you the truth, if they wind up firing DeBoer like I think they're going to wind up doing, they need to fire his ass along with them for hiring DeBoer. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't dislike DeBoer because the last 2 seasons, I didn't want to hire DeBoer to begin with. The last 2 seasons just proves why. Proves my point. Y'all all know the coach I wanted, and I said it before, Lane Kiffin. And I know I had people in the comments, well, what has Lane Kiffin done? Well, let's see. Ole Miss was 1 game away from playing in the national title last year. And everybody knows that was Lane Kiffin's team. Anybody that think Pete Golding did that is the reason why Ole Miss made it to the final round of the playoffs, just a game short of the national title. If anybody believes that was Pete Golding, well, you even dumber than you look. Well, I can't see you, but hell, you know what the hell I'm saying. You dumber than a damn box of rocks. You think Pete Golding was the one that took Ole Miss there. That was Lane Kiffin's team. Besides, Lane Kiffin's done been battle tested in the SEC. And not only that, he is one of, if not the best offensive coordinator Alabama has had. If not the best, he's one of the best. I'm going to tell you that. And we all see the kind of offense he can run in the SEC. But DeBoer, he's very unprofessional too. He wants to keep his friends around. You don't mix family friends with business. You don't. I mean, family and friends, you don't mix that with business. No, you don't. That right there proves right there how unprofessional he is. But, you know, I hope DeBoer proves me wrong and winds up adjusting to the SEC. Because I'm going to tell you this, I don't like the fact he's been bringing that West Coast bullshit, trying to bring that West Coast bullshit to the SEC. It ain't going to work. Until he adjusts, he is not going to succeed at Alabama. You know? And like I said just then, I hope I'm wrong because I always want to see Alabama do good. I love it when Alabama wins and piss off all the haters. You know? But I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening. Until he stops it with that West Coast bullshit and stops trying to be a nice guy and keeping his buddies around and stop trying to be buddies with the players and actually be a coach. It ain't going, until then, it's not going to happen. But I know I'm probably pissing all you DeBoer bootlickers off. You know, the ones that say, well, look at his first 2 years he did like Saban. Saban had the same first 2 years he did. Saban inherited a dumpster fire. DeBoer inherited a powerhouse. That's a big difference. I guarantee you, with the players that we had the last 2 years, the star players we had the last 2 years, I guarantee you Kiffin would have done better. I don't care who disagrees with my opinion or don't like my opinion. You can give your opinion in the comments. That's what they're there for. I'd be happy to see them. But anyways, you know, in order for me to do any editing and get more material out here, I really would appreciate it if y'all like and subscribe. That way I have more content to deliver during the off season. But until then, I ain't going to be able to come up with much during the off season. But as always, thanks for watching. God bless and roll tide.